Do you have a little bit of a system you can share on how to make money? I know we've got cobratate.com. We'll keep shouting it out. But any tips for someone who's ready, but they don't yet know the how?
Completely. So we teach it inside of the real world, of course. I keep mentioning it because it's so important. But there are 3 keys, I believe, to making money. The word of the day. First one's perspicacity. Most people go through life and they do not pay attention. I've said this before and I want to stick by it because it's so important. You need to pay attention to every single time you spend money because you cannot make money. You're not the Federal Reserve. You're not a government. Governments make money. All of us take money from somebody else or a business or a government. We take money from other things. So the easiest way to learn how to get good at taking money is to pay attention to every time someone takes money from you. So next time you buy a coffee, don't just buy the coffee and drink it and think nothing of it like every brokey. Don't do that. Say, okay, why am I buying this coffee? Okay, I want a coffee. All right. Why am I buying here? Well, this is on my way to work. Is there any competition around? Do I also want breakfast? Do they sell breakfast? No, they don't sell breakfast. They could probably make some more money if they're selling breakfast. Anyway, I walk in, there's a long line. Why is there one member of staff? I'm low on time. I'm about to leave and not buy the coffee. They're about to lose money because it's taking too long. Most of the people in this line are businessmen. Why is there not a cute girl behind the counter? I bet if they paid a cute girl a little bit more, they'd still make a bunch more money because people come in here to talk to her. Think. And then what you'll do is, as you go through life, every time you spend money, is you'll realize the problem is not how to make money. The problem is how much time you have because there's endless business ideas. There's endless ideas. I walk into a coffee shop and by the time I've walked out, I already know exactly how to open up next door and outcompete them head to toe. I already have worked out how much is the rent, where are they fucking up, what are they not selling that they should be selling, what are they doing good, what are they doing bad, this chair's too hard, I'll wreck them. And I'll send it, and now my network is so powerful, which is the second point, network, I can send a few messages on WhatsApp and make a bank transfer. And 2 months later, there's a brand new coffee shop next door with my name on it, put them out of business. So the first thing is you have to pay attention. Because if you pay attention, you'll start to learn that money is everywhere. Every building is owned. These are skyscrapers, bro. Billions. Every apartment nowadays is a million. You drive down a street in London, you're driving past trillions of dollars. There's money everywhere. It's all around us. When I was broke, I thought that the world was broke. I thought that there was no money. And then I got rich and realized that I was completely and utterly wrong. There's so much money. It's everywhere. If I go to try and buy a plane or a jet, they're always sold out. My yacht is a fucking 6-year waiting list. I want a Bugatti. They launch it. The email comes to my email address. 2 minutes later, gone. There's so much money. If I want a diamond watch or a $1 million watch or $1 million Rolex, you can't get this stuff. There is so much money out there. Once you get to a certain echelon, you realize there's money fucking everywhere. So there's plenty of money in the world. People with no money are just not very good at taking it. So you need to start paying attention. It's the first thing. Second thing is network. It's hard to make money if you don't know anybody who has money. If you sit in a room full of ice cream experts and all they talk about is ice cream, how to make ice cream, the different flavors, how to store it, how to move it, how to sell it, even by accident, if you hang around with these people long enough, when someone asks you a question about ice cream, guess what you're gonna know the answer. You're gonna say, you know what? That's because it's pistachio, and that needs to be 2 degrees higher than chocolate. And you look like a smart ass. So if you sit in a room full of people who are making a bunch of money, everyone understands this. Your network is your net worth. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Everybody understands this. And then they still hang around with fucking losers because they're dummies. You're right. I am the sum of the 5 people I spend the most time with. Anyway, this is my friend Nick. He's so funny when we go drinking because he gets really drunk. Losers. I don't talk to anybody who is not winning. Every phone call I will answer, if I answer a phone call, it is from a winner. I don't talk to losers. Everyone I talk to is rich. Everyone I talk to is making money. Everybody. If my entire reality is full of multimillionaires making money, how am I not going to make money? And this is why network is so important, is because it's the same reason that wolves hunt in packs. If you're a lone animal, you have one set of eyes. But if you're a pack, you're watching every single angle, every single side. Perhaps I might miss something. I'm as perspicacious as possible. But one of my friends identifies that the war in Ukraine is going to change and the Russian ruble is going to pump. And you can make a bunch of money on a Forex trade, for example. I may not have noticed, but he'll notice. Now I've made a bunch of $1 million for getting a text message, right? because I have friends who are paying attention. All of us are paying attention. So your network is super important. That's another thing. We'll go into this because I have something called the War Room, which is also on corporatate.com. I'll let people read for themselves, but that's my private network. And we specifically talk about money and a few other things. But that's
is that like more like a mastermind?
It's the real world's how to make money, and the War Room's what to do with money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all on corporatate.com. I don't want to get off track, but it's there. But second is network. And third, it's to identify the reason why you don't have as much money as you want so far. And there's one of three reasons. You are either lazy, stupid, or arrogant. Those are the only three reasons anyone is poor. And you have to identify and choose which one it is. The majority of people are not the one they think they are. The majority of people are the one I'm about to say at the end. So let's start with lazy. There are a lot of lazy people. The unfortunate reality about money is that you are competing. So it's player versus player. It's like anything in the world. If you want that beautiful girl, so does everyone else. You have to win the competition. You want that car, you have to get it first. You want that money, everyone wants that money. You have to compete. It's competitive. Business is competitive. You are competing against people like me. You're competing against people like the people in my network. You're competing about people who only talk about money, who understand money very well, who operate in jurisdictions all around the planet, who are extremely well connected, who know things before you know them, who have mass influence and mass power and mass resource. You're competing against me. This is what you must understand. You're not waking up going, I want to make some money. You're competing against people like me. You're competing against billionaires. You're competing against hedge funds. How did these hedge funds keep growing? Where are they getting that money from? From the brokies. They're robbing you. They're robbing all the poor people from the pension fund, dummy. That's where they get it from. This is who you're competing against. So the competition is absolutely and utterly fierce. Understanding that you're a man with a small pistol up against a mighty army, if you want to add a little bit of laziness on top, you're fucked. So when I say people are lazy, they go, I'm not lazy, I work hard every day. You work 8 hours a day? You work eight? The fuck? If I'm awake, I'm working. I'll be driving my Bugatti Chiron through Dubai, working. I'm texting at the same fucking time. I don't take a second off. I don't take a minute off. I don't relax. I don't rest. I don't stop. I don't chill. None. Ever. I'm either asleep or at work. That's it. Second I wake up, I check my phone, I begin working. I go to the gym in between sets, I am working. I'm online working the entire fucking day until the second I go to sleep, I am at work. That is all I do. And you are at home competing against me and you want to watch a movie tonight and then say you're not lazy. You're fucking lazy and you're going to lose forever. That's laziness. Next is stupid. I don't think many people are actually too stupid to be rich. You can be below average IQ and still get very rich. A very small percentage of people are too dumb to be rich. The slave minds, they'll never be rich because the matrix tries to keep you poor because when you're poor, you can't think like we talked about earlier. So everything the media tells you is designed to make you poor. They want you broke and struggling because if you rely on the government for food stamps, then you can't argue with the government, can you? So that's what they want. So anyone who believes in the matrix and believes in media and believes in the lies they're told, anyone who sits there and goes, that's true, that it's literally designed to make you broke. That's why it's all a scam. Do your GCSEs, do your A-levels, get in debt, go to uni, get out, get a shit job, get a mortgage. Don't worry, when you've paid that mortgage off when you're 61, then you'll have enough money to go to Spain for holiday. Then your pension comes. Oh, government doesn't have the pension money anymore. Funny enough, hedge fund stole it.
Pay half your money in your life in tax.
Oops-de-doops. And then you wake up one day and go, whoa, I just got fucked. So the whole scam, the whole story is a lie because they want you broke. They don't want you rich. If you're rich, you won't listen to them. So all of it's a fucking lie. And intrinsically, we all know this, right? When I pull up in one of my 30 cars to a gas station and people look at me and they see a Lambo or a Ferrari or a Bugatti or a Koenigsegg, whatever I'm driving, nobody goes, wow, he went to school. No, they think drug dealer, gangster. They're thinking he broke the rules because anyone who follows the rules doesn't get shit. It's all a scam. It's all a fucking lie. So the slave minds are fucked, but those are the only ones who are too stupid to make money. Anybody who understands that the matrix is lying to them is smart enough. So very small percent are too stupid. Inside of our school, At the height of it, before the Matrix attack, we're relaunching now. We had 175,000 students.
Wow.
When we had 175,000 students, maybe 2,000 we kicked out for being too stupid. It's step by step. Do this, do that, do this, and don't be lazy. The fuck? It's not that hard, right? So stupid's not the problem. So we have people who are lazy, very few are stupid, but the majority, the main reason most people are broke is because they are arrogant. I will sit here and say all the things I've said. I will do this, take time out of my life for free. Somebody at home will watch and digest it for free. They will agree with the things that are being said, or at least be entertained enough to continue to watch. And then I'll say, I'll teach you how to make money online. CobraTake.com, you can join the real world. And they'll sit there and go, nah, I'll do it myself. They're arrogant. They have these egos from fuck knows where because they didn't earn it. And they're just too arrogant to listen to anybody. I became world champion by listening to my coach. I didn't become world champion by walking in and saying, I'll do it myself. That's not how you get anywhere in life. You have to listen. If Mike Tyson were to walk in, or if Elon Musk were to walk in here and talk to me about money, I wouldn't be sitting there going, I can do that. I'd be like, oh, Mr. Elon, richest man in the world. Hello, very nice to meet you. Please, even though I already understand I don't want to launch a car brand or put rockets in space, please, you must know some things I don't know. How do you deal with the currency fluctuations? Does inflation impact how much it costs for you to send a rocket into space? Like, I'd ask him something that's useful, right? But some people are so brutally arrogant that they'll sit here and they'll listen to all the things I said, and they'll agree that I'm intelligent, and they'll agree I'm massively successful, but they'll sit there and go, yeah, but you know what? I'll do it myself. I don't want to join that school because, I'll do it myself. They're arrogant. Everybody's fucking arrogant. I sit with people who I used to go to school with from Luton who are still broke and tell them how to make money. And you know what they do? They answer back. Yeah, but it's not that simple because, the wife gets the kid, and you know what? And I don't like to do things that way. The way I like to work, the way you like to work is why you're fucking broke. So what the fuck are you talking about? You just sat here and wasted 10 minutes of my time. I told you how to take your business of painting and decorating or whatever the fuck you're doing and make a serious amount of money. And now you're telling me the way you like to work? Then stay fucking broke. The fuck you want me to do? What level of arrogance? But this is people. They'll sit with a multimillionaire and tell you their view. Oh, I think that know when you're out qualified and accept it and learn. So we all do. I'm not going to I can't play piano for shit. If the piano teacher walked in here and said, this is what you do, and I said, well, I like to move my hands this way. What kind of dumbass? But this is the arrogance people operate under. So I'd say 20% of people are lazy, 20 to 25%. A large portion of the world are not lazy. They're actually working exceptionally hard, but they're doing the wrong thing. 5% of people are too stupid. So say 25%, 5% is 30%. But 70% of people are brutally arrogant, and this is why they are poor. That's the truth.
And how did you make your first million?
Good question. I've talked about this already. It was an unorthodox strategy. I've talked about it at length, so I won't give the whole story because it's too long. But I identified a gap. I identified a market. I approached the scenario and the situation extremely professionally. And I worked exceptionally hard. And I made my first $1 million. So my first millions came from owning a webcam studio. So I saw a little advertisement in the corner of a web page saying, talk to live girls now. I've never been a porn guy. I'm not interested in that shit. But I was like, that's interesting. I know some girls who need some money. Boom, boom, boom. I put together this apparatus, extremely professional. No fucking sexual misconduct. No Dan Bilzerian. No threesomes. Nothing. Very professional. 50-somes if it's down. Very professional outfit. And I used all my business knowledge and all my life knowledge, and I applied it. I worked 22-hour days, I would say. I got to the point where I was so tired. But I'd say, you know what? Give me 20 minutes. And if I could hear the alarm go off, I'd get up. Sometimes I just slept clean through it, and I slept an hour or two. For months and months and months, and I built an empire. I built an insanely large empire at one point. I'm completely out of that business now. But how did I do it?
As in, did you sell it?
I didn't sell it. I just closed it all down. I moved on. I started making a bunch of money, and I found other opportunities. But how did I get that opportunity? Perspicacity. First thing I said, pay attention. I paid attention. I looked at the girl. I'll give you the coffee shop example. This is what I did. I clicked on that advert. I saw the girl sitting there, miserable, waiting for a customer. I thought nobody's going to buy from an unhappy bitch. The men who are paying her are trying to escape an unhappy life or they wouldn't be doing this shit. So when I got my girls online, smile. Happy girls get paid. That was the token. That was the slogan. Happy girls get rich. Joking. Ha ha ha. Who's you going to pay? You're going to pay the girls like, yeah, having a blast. So I paid attention to the competition. I saw an opportunity, just like the coffee shop. So all the things they did wrong. The room was messy. Camera quality was shit. There's the basic stuff. The way the girl acted and interacted. All that stuff. And I applied it all by paying attention countless hours watching everybody else, finding the way to do it better, just like with the coffee shop, and I did it better. So I was absolutely and utterly perspicacious, and that's how you make money. And I did it with that, but I could have done it with anything. And now I do it with everything. The story of me sending a text message via my network and having a coffee shop is a true story. I've been in there maybe twice. I don't even go. And I have mechanisms in place to make sure I'm not robbed too badly because unfortunately a little bit of cash goes missing. But everything's in place and it makes me money. I don't think I've even drunk my own coffee. I identified, I put together a list. It needs to be like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. I have competent people who work for me, which is very hard to find, but I do. They understand to follow the doctrine to the doctrine. And I'm getting money into a bank account. That's it. And you can do that with literally anything if you have a strong network and you pay attention. You can do anything. Even podcasts. We're doing a podcast right now. You guys are already big and successful at this. I'm telling you, you can look at the biggest podcasts in the world and still see what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. That's the game. That's the game. And then you have to outcompete everybody else. That's how.
And what's your net worth now?
You know what's? It's kind of funny because
is that sigh? That's the shittest question so far on this show.
No. It's I don't actually really know because they say if you don't know what you've got, they say if you know what you got, you ain't got much, and it's so fucking true. I don't know how much that coffee shop is worth. I know what it makes me roughly a month. I don't know what I could sell it for. I can guess now, like if I were to put a 6 times multiplier on it, you know, I could guess. But then what am I doing for every property? How much are all my properties worth? Fuck knows. Different than when I bought them. So the price has gone up, down. I don't even check. Don't know. So how much are the property worth? I can guess. How much the business is worth? I could guess. How much is my brand worth? If I put my name to something, it sells. I've been offered $50, $60, $70 million to sell junk to children, which I wouldn't do because I have too much morals. How much is my brand worth? I'm the most Googled man on the fucking planet. God knows. Like, I couldn't guess. I would guess that because there's different metrics of measuring the value of, say, a business, sometimes they'll put a 3 times multiplier on it, sometimes they'll put an 8 times multiplier on it. Let's put it this way. Hustlers University, 175,000 students, was doing about $13 million a month profit. That's an online educational company. Online is the future. Education is the future. It was seamless, fantastic. It outcompeted Oxford, Cambridge, everybody. It was the best school on the planet. Not just because we had 175,000 students, because we retained 175,000 students. That's the key. 175,000 people were making more money than they invested each month. There's no other platform on the planet that can do that. We had no competition. There was no other online digital learning platform that was even 1% as close. We were the largest online digital teaching platform on the planet. And everybody wants to make money. So everybody wants to join. Male, female, rich country, poor country. That's $13 million a month that was doing. So what's that? $120, $130 million a year? 8 times multiplier? What's that worth? 800 million by itself? Like, depending how you want to estimate it, I can sit here and say I'm worth $200 million or $1 billion. I could be a billionaire with net worth for the things I own, things I'm in control of. Depends on how you want to analyze it. So the reason I sighed is because I don't have a clue how much money I'm worth. I don't know. I know that if I want shit, I get it. I know that the world is effectively free now. I'm at a point of money where I never, ever contemplate the price of anything ever. The whole world, the only way I can explain being ridiculously rich is that everything is completely free. So if you want something, even 1%, even if you want something a little bit, the cost is 0% consideration. So I have 30 cars. I tried to stop at 10, but the car owners know I'm going to buy them, right? So they decide to launch a new Lambo and they text me and go, hey, new Lambo. I don't even ask to see a picture. I'm just like, okay. Because I'm not going to notice the money going missing. So why not at least, I might only glance at it for 3 seconds. I may never even drive it. I might just go, oh, yeah, it's all right. That's worth the money to me because the money is worth nothing. So the whole world is free. If I want coffee, it's like I buy and do things like the same way a person not even buys a coffee, like a penny sweet. It's just like, oh, fuck it. All right. It doesn't mean anything. I can't explain it. I don't have a clue how much money I'm worth. I don't know. That's the answer. I don't know. I just know I can have whatever I want.
Hey, before you go, if you want to watch the full uncut interview with Andrew Tate, no holds barred, like you've never seen before, you can watch it here. And before you go, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And remember, if you don't risk anything, you risk everything.
I think Heartbreak is designed to teach you lessons. I think everything bad that happens to you as a man is designed to teach you lessons. I think that's why God gives them to you. You're never going to be a good man unless you've suffered. Good men have been through a lot of bad things, and you have to realize why she left or why your heart is broken so that you can change certain things and grow. I think that the worst men on earth are the ones who haven't had enough pain. You're supposed to suffer as a man. You're born to suffer. The whole reason God put men on this planet is to suffer. And the best men are the ones who suffered the most. I wouldn't be top G if I didn't suffer more than anyone else. You're a better man than everyone else if your life was a mess and it was a hardship, because you're not what happens to you. You are how you react to it. And the best men on earth are men who have had their parents die, their best friends betray them, their girl betray them, thrown in jail, their money stolen, stabbed, robbed. And every time something happened to them, they sat there and they looked in the mirror and said, what can I learn from this? How can I stop this happening? Those are the best men. Those are the men respect. Those are the men women want. Why do women love scars? Look, they tried to kill him and they can't. That's why I want him. The best men suffered. You find a man who's never been through suffering and nobody gives a shit about him. Men don't like him and women don't like him. Men are no good without it. If you're an intelligent person and you crash your car, you sit and say, how did this happen? Was I driving too fast? No. Whose fault was it? Well, an amateur will say, it's their fault. They came speeding out at me. But a professional will say, no, they came speeding out at me. Why couldn't I avoid them? Why couldn't I move? Why didn't I see it? Why am I on this road in the first place? Like, a professional analyzes everything from a position of what they could do about it, having control over all things. And it's the same with heartbreak. If you ask an amateur why his heart's broken, well, she left me because of blah, blah, and he'll just blame her like a dumbass. She's arrogant. She doesn't listen to me. Her friends convinced her to cheat. She wants this, that, instead of saying, I don't have what it takes to keep her. I don't have what it takes to talk in a way that makes her not want to listen to her friends. I'm not important. So if you self-analyze everything, then everything happens for the same reason. Whether, no matter what bad thing happens to you, including heartbreak, it all happens for the same reason, for you to analyze and get feedback. If you were more important and more successful, she was less likely to leave you. That's the truth. The thing about life is you become a better person via feedback. You don't ever become a better person via anything else, especially not practice. People say practice makes perfect, and that's the biggest mistake, because it's not true. Because I often get asked, Andrew, how do you speak the way you speak? And I say, well, feedback. And they say, well, you've practiced, right? Well, everyone practices how to talk. There's people who've been alive 30 years longer than me, who've been practicing to speak longer than I have. Don't speak the way I speak, for example. It's just an example. You have to feedback. You have to watch yourself talk. You have to see where you've made mistakes. You have to see where you say, like. You have to remove it consciously. You need feedback to improve. So if a woman left you, that's feedback. Learn the lessons and make sure it doesn't happen again. Or sit and blame her and pretend it's nothing to do with you, and then wait for it to happen to you again, because it will. That's how life works. Like, feedback I got from jail, or my father dying, or heartbreak, or being stabbed, or whatever it is, all of these things happen for you to learn from them. And everybody in life has these events, and everybody in life has these traumas they can learn from, but most people are too stupid or too arrogant or too cowardly to sit down, blame themselves, look in the mirror, analyze the entire situation as if it was their fault, and see what they can do to prevent it from happening again. If I get wet in the rain, I blame myself. Why didn't I bring an umbrella? Why was I outside? Why was the car not nearer? Why didn't I check the weather? It's all me. Whereas the average person goes, why are you wet? It rained. And it's not their fault, because the sky rains. It's not my fault. I can't stop the sky raining. Whereas I believe I could have stopped myself getting wet, even if I can't stop the rain. It's a mentality.
Heartbreak teaches you the power of understanding that in life, things will always get better if you try to make them better. There were girls who I dated when you were still a baby. So let's say I was 20 years old. And she was 19 years old. I was 20 years old, and we broke up for whatever reasons. This particular girl got some job where she had to move to London. And I was upset about it. If the heartbreak had never happened, well, I'd be that guy. I'd be with her now. I wouldn't have done all the great things that I've done. Heartbreak sucks. And you do have to deal with it. And again, know when to walk away without begging or humiliating yourself, especially in this day and age of DMs and messages being recorded and stuff. And each heartbreak, like with every bad event that happens in life, sets an important marker that you eventually look back on a longer timeline, and you see the growth and the self-improvement and maybe the hypothetical scenarios that would have happened had you stayed with that person or had you not been betrayed by that person. And yeah, it serves as very important markers on a timeline. But it's only once you progress a couple years past that timeline that you could see the knowledge in it, unless you do it the wrong way and let it spiral you into down the toilet of self-destruction, in which case then you're like, oh, well, that's when my life went completely wrong. So no, that's when you chose to give up. They're two very different things. But heartbreak's fantastic. I wish my heart could still be broken. That'd be nice. Well, men live for women. This is the point. Men live for women in every single way. If women didn't exist on this planet, everything about my life would be different. I'd have fast cars because I like driving. But a lot of the things that men do, a lot of the things we say, the way you dress, lots of it is about trying to attract women, trying to impress women, and trying to have women hold you in a high regard. Because if women in general hold you in a high regard, then you as a high value man have your pick of the best women on the planet. And there isn't a single red-blooded male out there in the world who doesn't like the idea of lots of different women being attracted to him. Even if he's got his wife and he's in love and it's the first girl he's ever been with and he's, I don't know, a Mormon or a Muslim or a Christian who's super involved. If you were to ask him, would you like to be unattractive to women or attractive to women just in general? He'd say attractive because it raises the impression people have of his wife, for example. So there's not a single man in the world who doesn't live for women in one way or another.
Women teach you a lot about how to get women, which is actually quite interesting. Like, they do. Women teach you a lot about how to get women themselves. If you want to piss a woman off, ignore her. Don't insult her. Just don't reply. And you should know that, because when did a woman annoy you most? She ignored you. That's right. So like, you can learn so much from them. But women are the prize, effectively. Sexual access or access to sexuality has always been a prize for men that effectively had to be earned. You had to go to war and come back with a Valor Star, or you had to be a king or something to get access to sexuality. So women were the prize up until a certain point, and then if you're a high value enough man, you could say you become the prize, blah, blah. But effectively, women are a fantastic mirror, and how women treat you tell you a lot about yourself, because women are ruthless. And if you're not if they don't see value in you, or if they don't see value they can extract from you, you're invisible to them. You know, you can go to a nice restaurant with a girl and you can say, how many men are in here? And she'll say, 3 or 4. And she'll ignore every waiter. If they can't get something from you, you're invisible. So how women treat you in general is a good mark for how much value you openly exude. If they can instantly see value on you, they'll talk to you and treat you a certain way. People think that beautiful women are really bitchy and rude. No, they're not. They're actually very nice and soft and sweet. They're actually quite shy and insecure if you're that guy. But if you're not that guy, they're like, get the fuck away from me. Because they don't even want to bother having a conversation on any level because you don't exude enough value. So women are a mirror. They'll tell you everything you need to know about yourself. And you should pay attention to it and you should change it.
No one is ever going to give a shit about you, even 1% as much as you have to give a shit about yourself. No one cares. No one cares about you if you're a man, ever. Everything is conditional. You don't get loved unconditionally. And that's a beautiful thing, because that makes you strive to create your own value as a man. And the problem that men have is we all go from a time when everyone cares about us to a time no one does. Women don't lose it until they're maybe 45 and childless. Then they'll be like, oh, what the fuck's going on? Now she understands what it's like to become a 15, 16, 17-year-old man. Because we've gone through the stage. I remember my aunts and uncles, hey, little Tristan, I remember, they all cared about me back then. Then you get to 16, 17, 18, you're out in the cold world and you're like, no one gives a fuck, do they? I can't pay my bills. I have no food. Nobody cares. Yeah, your mother and your father will care a little bit, but you have to care about them So I'd say the duty of protection is the other way around once you become an adult, and you have to care about yourself. So the best advice I can give to anyone, especially the young men who are 13, 14, 15, who, you know, are sitting in their room playing video games and their mother's still bringing them sandwiches, you know, if she continues to care about you that much and you lean on it, you're going to be a nobody. And if she says, okay, you're 18 now, get the fuck out of my house, you're going to be a nobody until you make something of yourself. So the best advice every young man needs to hear is nobody gives a shit about you at all until you make them give a shit. People give a shit about me and Andrew now. Why? Would you have given a shit about me if I just fucking stayed in my room, played video games from age 18 till now? No, you wouldn't know who the fuck I was.
As a man, if you truly care about the world, you need to improve yourself first, because as a man, if you're not capable, your love means nothing anyway, right? You can say I'm a man and I love my dog, but if you can't feed that dog and you can't home that dog and you can't afford to take that dog to the vet and you can't protect that dog, then your love means nothing. Your love as a man is directly correlated to your competence and your capabilities. So when a man who is capable loves you, it means something. A man who's incapable loves you, it means nothing at all. So if you're incapable, not necessarily important, not necessarily financially successful person, it doesn't matter what you feel about anything, because you could be replaced and nobody gives a shit. So if you truly care about that, I guess the lesson is, if you truly care about an issue as a man, the first thing you should do is you should improve yourself. If you have a woman who you truly love, instead of buying her flowers every day, you should improve yourself. If you have a town that you truly love, instead of, I don't know what you would do, instead of telling everyone how great it is, you should improve yourself and you should start a business in that town so that there's more jobs in that town. It doesn't matter what it is. Self-improvement is the answer to showing your love for anything as a man. So when I see people say, oh yeah, I really love my girlfriend or whatever, and then I look at the guy, I say, no, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be sleeping so long. You wouldn't be so insignificant. You'd be trying harder in some way. You'd be doing something. You're not doing anything. If you're not doing anything, you don't love anybody.
I would say to all the young men out there who see me as a source of inspiration, motivation, knowledge, I'd again say something similar than I said to my brother. I'd say if I exist or not, if I speak or not, if I do podcasts, if you hear my voice, it doesn't matter. You can do all of this without me as a source of motivation. Everything I've tried to say to you and everything I've tried to tell you, I've meant it because I care about not you personally, but the way that men are perceived in this world and the way men carry themselves in this world. And if you are a true fan of mine, don't get angry, don't go nuts, don't burn anything down. Don't let this become a moment in your life that spirals you down that toilet of self-destruction. You don't need me, and you can do this anyway. Best of luck.
All you had to do was work these last few years. You could be a millionaire. You could save your mother from being coarsened in the labor market. You could prolong the life of your loved ones with medical care. You could literally keep your parents alive longer, and you still didn't try. You still couldn't be motivated. Extra years of consciousness for the people who birthed you is somehow not as important to scumbag losers like you. And you wonder why I end up in a position where I think, do poor people even ever deserve to win? I have been telling you, I have been repeating for the last 3 years how important it is that you make some money, get spare finance, stop trying to trade and be a smart ass. Instead, dedicate yourself, learn how to make money online, dedicate yourself, get spare money, and buy Bitcoin. I have been saying it every single day for 3 years. And I've been saying it because the outcome was always certain in my mind. I was telling you this when Bitcoin was 4,000. I was telling you this when Bitcoin was 8,000. I was telling you this when Bitcoin was 16,000, all the way up to 60, 70, 80,000. I have been repeatedly saying the exact same thing because the outcome was certain. And even though none of you disagreed with me, you didn't argue with me, you knew that my thesis, you knew that my opinion on the future was correct, you still didn't bother to work and get money. You knew your money would amplify. Do you understand the cowardice and laziness which plagues your blood? If you understand that the money you make today, you can double it in a few short months and you still don't try. there must be something clinically wrong with you people. So then I used to motivate you guys. I was like, well, let me motivate them instead. But no matter how hard I scream down the side of the mountain, climb, do this, put your foot there, don't do that. You'll slip and fall, climb. It's great up here. You can make it. You just don't seem to want to try. If there is a guaranteed chance to double all of the extra money you make and you still don't try, what more can I say within the confines of human language that will motivate you? Perhaps God himself simply has a plan for certain people, and the plan for you was eternal regret and never-ending serfdom. Perhaps the plan for people like you was simply for you to perma-fail and lay as testament to how a life can be built on ignorance, laziness, and arrogance, so that people look at you as a warning sign of what not to be. Perhaps that's why you exist. Men like you exist as a warning sign to all other men. Do not end up like that, because I've been telling you for years. And now that Bitcoin's at $100,000, do you know what message I keep getting sent? Andrew, how do I make some money? I need Bitcoin. Andrew, can you motivate me? Why weren't you motivated when Bitcoin was 8,000? Why weren't you motivated when you stood a chance? Why weren't you motivated when I spoke before? Why must reality slap you in the face so brutally for you to wake up? You're the kind of dickhead who drives his car on the ice and slides all over the place and won't slow down. It's only when you hit a tree and lose a leg do you sit there like a pirate, a dumb pirate with a wooden leg. You sit there and go, I might slow down next time. You only learn lessons the hardest possible way. And here I am, respected as one of the greatest orators in the English language, trying my best to convince you to win. I'm not trying to convince you to lose. I'm trying to convince you to do something you should already want to do, which is win. And I can't seem to get you to take action and move and work. This outcome was certain. You knew it. I knew it. And you still just laid in bed at night after an average day of meager efforts and slept like a baby. You went to bed broke and slept like a baby. If I knew I was going to wake up broke, I wouldn't go to sleep. I don't want to wake up broke, ever. So if I feel like closing my eyes and having a little bit of rest is going to lead to me waking up broke, I ain't closing my eyes. Money must be made. And this Bitcoin opportunity is actually one of a long string of opportunities that you have squandered in your insignificant, unremarkable, meager existence. Nobody knows who the you are. Nobody knows your name. Women aren't begging for your children. You're a nobody. And you're a nobody because every single time God gives you a chance, you ignore it. Even worse, when you are given guaranteed wins, like earn money, buy Bitcoin, you do nothing. When winners like me, we attack with absolute vigor when the win isn't even guaranteed. I've tried harder for most things in my life with a fraction of a % of a chance for success than you've ever tried for anything with a guaranteed payoff. I used to go to work not knowing if I get paid. You are guaranteed to get paid. We are telling you it is guaranteed that there is a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, but you can't seem to finish the walk. You are a fuck up. If you have less than 100 Bitcoin, you are an idiot because you've had 3 years of me telling you what to do. 3 years of me guaranteeing you the future. And it's only just begun because Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million. And then what will you message me? Andrew, I need some money. I need some Bitcoin. Andrew, can you motivate me? And here's the impasse. Here's the wall I can't seem to break. And I can't seem to motivate you to win. What am I even talking for? Why am I even here? What's the point of any of this? You should look in the mirror and feel a deep sense of shame. You should think of all those days you have wasted, all those late mornings you laid in, all of the mistakes you've made across the last 2 years. Because if you made none of those mistakes and you tried instead and added it all together, you would have bought Bitcoin. And now that's $100,000. You would be rich forever. You could be rich for the rest of your life if you had just tried for the last 2 years. The time's already gone. The time's been spent. You can't even tell me what you did with it. You didn't work. You didn't get rich. Cool. What did you do the last 2 years? I went on holiday. Okay. That's 5 days out of 600. What did you do for the rest of them? Well, I was trying. Clearly, no, you weren't. And you know what? The number one measure of a winner is self-reflection. When you're a winner, you analyze your performance in all things. If you're a grandmaster at chess, after you play a game, win or lose, you go through the game to identify mistakes, to see what you did right, to see what you did wrong. You talk to other grandmasters. You get their take on the position. If you're a fighter, you watch your fights back. And here you are living your life. You're not even reflecting. Stop for a second and think about what I just said to you. All of the time you have wasted. Now you feel FOMO. If you would have just acted when I was imploring you to act, if you would have just done what you knew needed to be done, you would be sitting in a completely different situation right now. Your bloodline would be financially free for eternity. Your great-grandchildren, who you may never meet, would know your name because you're the one who saved the family. Instead, you will die insignificant and be forgotten by your own blood because you are another pointless cog, which is your legacy, which is your bloodline. Your dynasty leads to nowhere, and you come to me to motivate you. How the can I motivate limp losers like that? What do you want me to say? I gave you a guaranteed win. I told you what was going to happen. I gave you a way to make the money. I came on here every day and told you to fucking work. I gave away free Lamborghinis. I gave away free crypto. I kept saying, I'll give you the world. The pot of gold's at the end of the rainbow. I kept making the rainbow shorter and shorter. I kept making the pot of gold closer and closer. No matter how close I dragged it, you just stood there like a dipshit. Oh yeah, but it's over there. Maybe you're all just born to fucking lose. Maybe there's nothing I can say. It doesn't matter how I preach. You losers are losers by design. It's in your DNA. It's in your blood. It's in your cells. You can't change it. No matter what situation I put you in, you'll find a way to lose. And then I'd look up to the sky, look up to God and say, was he just born to lose? There is no other justification for your monumental impotence and lack of action besides the fact that your DNA is literally enlaced with loserdom. I don't understand you. The second best time to get started is now. I will say to you, you've missed a lot of chances, but there is still a chance left. Because if you get serious now and you start working now, you can get Bitcoin at 100,000 before it goes to 1 million. And you can still save your bloodline. And you'll sit there and go, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then 16 minutes after this stream ends, you're going to be back on Steam, downloading COD, to run around and get shot in the head like a dipshit. You're unsavable. And then, because I talked about reflection, I also have to reflect myself. Have I become elitist now? As a man who's climbed the mountain from the very bottom, from the lowest echelons of poverty, from more poor than most of you have ever been. There was no food in my fridge. Most of you are starting higher than I ever started. And now I'm at the top of the mountain looking down going, do these people just deserve to stay on the cliff face waiting for an avalanche to annihilate them? Maybe they deserve boredom. Maybe poor people deserve to be poor. Maybe all the poor people who go, I don't want to be poor, I've tried hard, are lying. Maybe they're just lazy, stupid, arrogant idiots and nobody could help anyway. And if you get to know these people, they're not even nice people. And they snake their friends and they lie and they cheat because good people who work hard seem to always win. Why is it when I meet a good person who listens and works hard, they always win? By logical extension, anyone who has not won is not a good person who works hard. That is a logical conclusion. If every good person with a good work ethic ends up a winner, and you're not a winner, then you're not a good person with a good work ethic. You're a dipshit. Somewhere along the line, there's something wrong with you. When Bitcoin hit $100,000, me, the man with over 1,000 Bitcoin, was mad at himself for not having more. Because I could have had more. I could have taken one pump less and all those bitches and added it all up and saved hours and made some money. You don't even have 10 and you don't feel any shame in your heart. There's nothing bothering you deep inside. You sleep just fine. Everything's okay, is it? It's all, oh, well, doop-dee-doo. The fuck is wrong with you? I don't understand. At the time, when Bitcoin was affordable, your arrogant ass, oh, I somebody buy Bitcoin, but, I'm going to buy a beer. All right, I'm going to buy a beer instead. I'm going to go movies with my girlfriend. That probably left you now. Who were you in 2010? You don't even know. She left you. She's someone else. You were spending your time with her instead of getting rich. Think about the woman you were with 5 years ago. All the time you spent listening to her crap and taking her on dates. You could have been focused on something important and got rich. You wasted your fucking time. You could have been a somebody. Now you're messaging me asking for a time machine. I have every car that's ever been manufactured. I got Vicuña sweaters. If it can be bought, I bought it. There's no time machines. Next time your girlfriend says, let's go movies, are you going to sit and think, wait, I went movies with a bitch in 2015 instead of focusing on getting rich and buying Bitcoin, and now I'm not rich. Now this new bitch trying to make me go to a movie again. I'm still not rich, need money instead, and say, no movies. I'm locked in. I'm in the trenches. I'm getting rich. Stand by me and enjoy the fruits of my labor or be gone. You dummies have probably just not learned a thing. And you're not even looking in the mirror going, how did I make this mistake? What did I ignore? Why wasn't I motivated? How did I not have money? When did I not listen? Did I see these tweets? If not, why didn't I see them? If I did see them, why didn't they implore me to action? Why didn't I sell my car and buy Bitcoin? Why? How can I make sure this doesn't happen again? How can I change things for the future? What plans and systems can I put in place to prevent me from being a loser anymore? I feel bad. I feel guilty. I feel shame. I feel dirty. I fucked up. I'll never fuck up again. I need to learn to trust myself. This can't be repeated. I have to make something of myself for my bloodline. Something must change. No.
Well, Bitcoin price is up. I wish I had some money. Can you motivate me, Tate?
So when Bitcoin gets to $200,000 and you dedicate yourself to doing whatever it takes to win for this next period of monumental rebalancing in the financial markets of Earth, what will you do between $100,000 and $200,000 that is different than what you did between 0 and 100,000? Tell me in the chat, what are you going to do for the next $100,000 increase that is different than what you did for the last one in which you failed monumentally? Say it to the universe. Say it to me. Speak it out loud. You tell me what's going to be different this time so that when the price reaches 200,000, you're no longer wallowing in self-regret. You're no longer living with the stinging pain afforded to you by the bittersweet hindsight. Rain dance, work harder, try harder, work and buy, lock in, more fucking action. Because you can't buy Bitcoin without any money. Forget all excuses and act with speed when Bitcoin gets to $200,000. And let me be honest with you. I don't have a time machine. I don't know when it will happen. All I know is that it will happen. And when it happens, whether it's in 2 months, 2 years, I'm going to sit down and ask you if you have tried your best or if you have once again failed. Because I haven't stopped stacking. I haven't stopped working. I haven't slowed down. I haven't got lazy. I'm still trying to get more. More of everything. More houses, more boats, more cars, more children, more Bitcoin, all of it. And you're going to have to answer to yourselves in the mirror when Bitcoin is at 200,000, because you have once again been warned. You can no longer claim or feign ignorance. There's no more excuses of I didn't know. You now know what I was telling you was a certainty has come true. The future is set. The win is guaranteed. I'm not asking you to be a hyper-competent predator, an apex like myself, who is prepared to attack tasks with absolute vigor, even with uncertain outcomes. I'm asking you to put in a little bit of effort to a task where the outcome is certain. Surely that's more inspiring when you know the finish line contains a pot of gold. Unlike the monumental tasks I undertook in my life, where I reached finish lines and there was nothing there. I don't even ask that of you. You're not man enough for challenges like those. You are not built the way I am built. You could never endure or undertake the pain and suffering required to reach a finish line, unsure of whether you will be rewarded. I don't even ask scum like you for dedication like that. Instead, I ask you to reach a finish line with a guaranteed consolation, a guaranteed result and reward and prize. Guaranteed, it is sitting there. That's all I ask of you. It's all your bloodline will ask of you. It's all your family ask of you. It's all your grandchildren will ask of you. Everyone will be saying to you, why didn't you buy Bitcoin when it was cheap? Now it controls the world. Back then it was cheap. Why didn't you buy it? What's your answer going to be? I didn't know. I knew, but I didn't have any money. Well, why didn't you go and work harder? I was tired. What excuse are you going to give on your deathbed for your monumental failures? How can you even justify them? What excuse can you even fathom? I'm disgusted with you people. And the fact you're not disgusted with yourselves is genuinely concerning. It's worrying. You've seen the crackhead on the street, right? And he stinks as shit, shits his pants. And you look at him and you smell him and you go, why are you not repulsed by yourself, your own actions, your own situation you find yourself in? How your presence and existence pollutes other people's experiences of sentience. How can you live this way? You stink. I don't understand how it doesn't bother you that everyone's bothered by you. Why aren't you bothered by yourself? You're covered in puke and feces. That is how the successful people view people like you. Because we look at you and say, how the fuck do you just fuck up every day? And you just wear it on your t-shirt almost with pride, like it's fine. You stink of shit. You're poisoning my experience of humanity, my experience of consciousness, because I have to stand next to you. You're a lazy, insignificant dipshit. And no matter how hard you're told to take a shower, you just don't seem to want to do it. And nobody really understands why, besides what's ever inside of your crazy loser DNA. You have no excuse to not make money. So all you have to do is try. No excuse to not take a shower, crackhead. There's a shower right here. I'll give you a shower. Please come have a shower. And the crackhead says, no, I don't want a shower. Why? I'm tired of yelling at you people. And I'm tired of trying to make losers be something else. There's only so much you can do to inspire a sheep to become a wolf. This $100,000 Bitcoin price should have woken you the fuck up. I really hate repeating myself. I find repeating myself insulting. If I say something and somebody doesn't listen to me, I consider it very much like a slap in the face. It's like I was speaking words at you in a language that I know you understand, and you ignored the words. And it bothers me deeply. I really don't like repeating myself ever, but it feels like I have to with you people. Just like I told you to get Bitcoin a few years ago. Let me tell you something else. Something I've already said. So if you feel like you've missed out on Bitcoin, you haven't. You have work to do. Let me give you one more piece of advice. And listen to me carefully, because this will be a video that will be clipped, and I will play it back in 2 years from now. And you will kick yourself. Listen to me now. Listen in your heart. Listen to me. Because in 2 years, when I play this video back, you're going to hate yourself for your lack of action. So listen to me clearly. I know things you do not know. And you have been fairly warned. So in 2 years, when I ask you why you did not act, you have no excuse. You can pull out your ass. You were told directly from me. You need to work. You need to dedicate yourself. You need to take these next few months seriously. 2025 has to be a year of winners. You need to invest in Bitcoin. You need to stop being a idiot. You need to reflect on your life. You need to feedback. You need to analyze all of the mistakes you've made. You need to stop wasting your time, stop being a dipshit, and stop relying on me for temporary bursts of motivation so that you can focus on something for once in your life. Because time is running out. I don't like repeating myself. Now it is Darwinism. Those who do not benefit do not deserve to benefit. I'm done talking. Act or fail. Planet has something to prove. If you walk through life and feel like you have nothing to prove, then you're a fucking loser. If you wake up each day and go, I don't owe anybody anything, I don't have to prove anything to anybody, then you are a loser, because you are absolutely not incorrect. You must prove yourself to other people. You must prove yourself to your bloodline, as we just discussed. You must prove yourself to God. God hates the lazy. He can't stand them. If he gives you all these genetic dispositions and these natural God-given gifts, if you have 2 arms and 2 legs and you can think, and you're not trying your absolute best, that's the reason you're not lucky. He doesn't like you. He likes the people which show him the beauty of his own creation. He likes to give somebody building blocks and them to build something amazing. It's the best thing about being a man. You get to build who you are, right? You can decide if you want to be a funny comedian or a musician or a kickboxing world champion or fight the Matrix. You can decide whatever you want to be. God loves to see that. Those people, for some reason, seem to be enormously lucky, right? The person who goes, I don't have to prove anything to God. I don't owe all of my ancestors any effort. You know, for 5,000 years, people were dodging saber-toothed tigers and catching the plague and running from Genghis Khan just for my stupid ass to be born. I don't owe them anything. I don't owe them a thing because I want to play video games. These people are fucking losers. You should walk through Earth with force inside of you. As I walked into this hotel reception, everybody looked. Not because they know who I am, but because as I move, even if it's behind their head, people feel something and they go, it's an energy that comes from brutal competence. It's almost like an evolutionary thing where a rabbit can just smell a fox. It just knows. That's what happens when a predator walks in a room, even amongst humans. You pay attention next time you're in a restaurant. If a man who's truly dangerous walks in, nearly every other man kind of looks up at the same time. You feel it. You need to or you don't survive. We've evolved with that to live. That's who I am. I couldn't imagine not being that man. I've done that because I've been trying to prove myself to my lineage my entire life. I wake up every day with something to prove. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. I wake up and think, fuck, more. I'm in fantastic shape, 4 times world champion, fighting the Matrix out here by myself, more. I will have to be braver. I must try harder. All I do is prove myself. So when I hear people go, I don't have nothing to prove, then you're a fucking loser. Peasants have never felt like they needed to prove anything, but kings felt like they needed to go and conquer land. Isn't that it's coincidental that the king who already had it all felt like he needed to go to some far-flung land and conquer it and take it and prove he's the king. But the peasants, oh, I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You're a fucking loser then. You're a dummy. I absolutely and utterly completely have everything to prove to everybody all of the time. That's who I am. I will prove anything to anybody. If I sit and say X, I will prove it to anyone. I can be checked at any time. If someone would have come up to me in that lobby and argued with my ideas, I would have proved that my ideas are sound. If they would have attacked me, I would have destroyed them completely and absolutely. That's who I am. So yes, I have a lot to prove, my friend.
The answer is you need to get rich. You need to get a network. I know this is all I talk about, but I believe it is my mission to try and defeat the Matrix. And you defeat the Matrix with truth and love, because the Matrix relies on hate and deception. I love you enough to tell you the truth. And the truth is that you're fucked if you're not rich. I don't have any answer for you. People say to me, Andrew, what do I do if I'm not rich? I don't know. I don't know what you will do if you don't have a bunch of money, because it's going to become harder and harder. And in the next 30 years, unless you're rich, you are finished. You are done. The only thing I can do is try my best to teach you how to make money. That's all I can do for you. If you're prepared to work hard, I can guarantee you'll make enough money to afford carbon credits. If you're not prepared to work hard, if you're a quitter, then you are going to be a slave and your bloodline are going to be enslaved for the rest of human time. That is the bottom line to it. There's nothing else to say. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you have to decide if you want to escape or not. If you want to escape, ladies and gentlemen, the things I'm telling you now on a public Rumble stream, imagine what I will be saying in my private network. Imagine what I'll be talking about inside the war room
gold
or the real world. You can't just sit and coast any longer. You have to take drastic action. Everybody always says, if you tried your best, that's all that matters. The best is all you can do. If you tried your best, it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if you lose if you tried your best. Most people have heard that before. But there is a secret to the universe that most don't know. If you actually try your best, you can't lose. Not pretend to try your best, not try your best 90% of the time, not try your best with excuses. If you genuinely try your best all of the time, all day, every day, it's impossible to lose. So when people say, if you tried your best, it's okay to lose, that is a logic fail. Because if you lost, you didn't try your best in the first place. If you actually try your best, it is impossible to fail in this life. God is watching and he rewards those who want it the most. If you want it the most, you can have it. It's a competition. Every dollar you want, the house you want, the car you want, other people want, you have to win. You have to want it the most and genuinely do your best, because most people aren't capable of doing their best anymore. To get up every day, whether they feel like it or not, and perform regardless. That is the secret. You cannot fail if you try your best. So if you don't have the car you want, the woman you want, the relationship you want, the friends you want, the house you want, you haven't been trying your best. Because I guarantee you the second you do, you'll have all of it. Every single one. I read a lot of emails. I got a lot of emails and a lot of messages, and a lot of people like, bro, I'm trying my best. And my answer is simply, no, you're not. I really don't think they're trying their best. Maybe I come across and I seem non-sympathetic, but I'm from a council estate in Luton. I'm now a billionaire. And it's because I actually tried my best. What's funny is this. If you were to take somebody who says, I'm doing my best, I'm really trying, and you were to get an exact schedule of their last week and find all the times they've wasted time, you'd say, look, you've wasted time, wasted time, wasted time, wasted time. You know what's actually amazing? Most of those people are not even self-reflective enough to go, you're right, I'm not trying my best. Do you know what they'd say? Well, I have to rest sometimes. Well, I have to have a social life. Well, they'd be so arrogant because they're arrogant.
I had to do my Facebook.
Yeah. No matter, you'd even show them, here's where you fucked up. Well, you know, I have to. Oh, you're crazy. And then they go back to being a loser. That's the amazing thing about losers. You can drag them to the water, but they won't drink it. It's beautiful.
They always feel like they're doing everything, rather than like a successful person feels like they're not doing enough.
You nailed it. They have no self-accountability. And you're right. A lazy person thinks he's working too hard, and a successful person thinks he isn't working hard enough. And we're doing 20 times the work they are. And we're like, oh, I could have done more. Could have done this. Oh, I missed that today. Can't miss that again. Oh, I should have taken that call. I should have flown there. I should have. That's, you know, we have guilt about it. They don't give a solitary fuck. And even if you pointed it out to them, they'd sit there and go, oh yeah, and they'd make some excuse for it.